I'm turning now to the senior fellow from the Manhattan Institute. His name is Robert Bryce, an energy expert, frequent guest on the program. Why is California the most expensive state in the nation for electricity?
Stuart, that's the key question. A lot of it, as the Daily Caller News Foundation pointed out in their analysis, is a lot of these green energy mandates. And it shouldn't be surprising that these prices are as high as they are. But I think the key point to take away here, Stuart, is that you look at California and New York, and both of those states now are pushing for 50% renewable energy mandates that will force their electric rates to go even higher.
Let me explain mandate. That's where a utility, an electric power provider, must buy X amount of juice from solar or wind, regardless of the cost. And the cost is usually very high. It's mandated. You've got to buy at that high price. So we, the consumers, we have to pay. So the mandates, that's the key problem here. That's at the heart of it.
It is exactly right, Stuart. And what's remarkable, and I've written about this myself for Manhattan Institute. I released a report on this just last week. We already have a lesson in the results of these kinds of mandates by simply looking at the European Union. Between 2005, when the EU passed its emissions trading scheme, and 2014, residential rates in the EU on average increased by 63%. That was double the increase we saw here in the U.S. Further, the three countries that pushed renewable mandates the farthest, or the hardest, and spent the most, Germany, the UK, and Spain, were the three countries that saw their electric rates rise the most. This isn't a coincidence. This is a result of these kinds of renewable mandates, and as your reporter pointed out, this idea of keeping it in the ground is what we've heard from Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders about prohibiting hydraulic fracturing.
Now, Robert, you're an expert in energy across the board here, and I want to refer specifically to the coal industry and Robert Trump. Not Robert Trump, Donald Trump. I'm sorry, Robert Bryce, Donald Trump. He says he's going to bring back coal mining jobs. He's going to do it. That's what he says. Now, I got my doubts about that. How about you?
Well, I have big doubts about it. Stuart, I saw what he said in West Virginia, excuse me, and Trump is very good at telling audiences what they want to hear. Remember, when he went to Iowa and told the Iowans he loved corn ethanol. So it's no surprise he went to West Virginia and told the coal miners he loves coal. But the coal industry is facing a lot of headwinds now, chief among them very low-cost natural gas. Today, I think the price was $2.10. This is the biggest headwind for the coal industry, in addition to, of course, all the federal regulations.
Hold on a second, Robert. If Bernie Sanders and Hillary got their way and virtually banned fracking, say goodbye to cheap natural gas, which would in fact help the coal industry, presumably, wouldn't it?
Well, sure, but remember, Stuart, we're now producing as much electricity from natural gas as we are from coal in this country. It could be good news for the coal industry, but it would mean, one, that it would embolden and empower OPEC because it would dramatically reduce U.S. oil production. It would also dramatically reduce natural gas production, which would mean almost immediately higher prices for home heating, electricity, plastics, fertilizer, effectively everything in the economy.
Robert Bryce got it right. Manhattan Institute. Thanks very much for joining us, sir. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart.